Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. So, today we are going to start your next topic of English grammar, which is sentence analysis. So, what is this? What we are going to do in this chapter? We are going to analyze the different parts of the sentence, like subject, predicate, the complement, attributes, subject words, the complete subject. So, all these things that we are going to cover in this chapter. And so, first of all, as you know that what is a sentence first of all, and what are its subject and predicate. Your first topic is subject and predicate. So, what is a sentence first of all? So, the subject of the sentence may be the word. Sentence is a, you can say it's a meaningful. You can say group of words, group of word which have some meaning. So that is your sentence. Then the subject of a sentence may be a word or a phrase which tell us who what is being talked about, and predicate tells us something about the subject. So what is subject? Subject is a word. It can be single word also, or it can be a group of word, that is called a phrase. So which tells us who or what is being talked, कि किसके बारे में या किस चीज़ के बारे में बात हो रही है. And predicate tells us something about the subject. Rest of the sentence is your predicate, and it tells you about something your subject. So for example, if you look at these sentences which are given here in this table, so you will find that first one is Priti sings. Then Meera teaches dance. Then the children walked home. Fourth one is the price of this shirt is 500 rupees. Now, if you look at these sentences carefully, in first column the subject part of the sentence is given, and on the second column you can say the predicate part of the sentence is given. So, who sings? If we talk about the first sentence, the sentence is Preeti sings. If we ask the question like who sings, so what will be your answer? Answer will be Preeti. So Preeti, the word Preeti is telling you who or what is being talked about. So Preeti here is the subject of this sentence, and what she is doing. So she is singing. So that is why sings is a predicate here. So in the similar way, Meera teaches dance. So Meera here is subject, and teaches dance is here predicate. Then third is the children walked home. The children is the subject here, and as you can see there are two words in the subject, and walked home is your predicate. And the fourth one, the price of this shirt. So what we are talking about, we are talking about a shirt, and the information about the shirt is this, that is 500 rupees. The price of the shirt is 500 rupees. So that is why 5 is 500 rupees is your predicate, and this group of words like the price of this shirt is your complete subject. So the subject could be a single word subject also, or it could be your few words. So then in the next exercise, what you have to do here, circle the subject and underline the predicate. What you have to do, we have to circle the subject and underline the predicate. So first sentence, look at the first sentence, students. The first sentence is the chirping of bird woke me up. The chirping of the bird woke me up. So what we are talking about here in this sentence, we are talking about the chirping of the birds. So the chirping of the bird is a complete subject of this sentence, and the rest of the sentence, woke me up, is a predicate. Then if we talk about the second sentence, all people have equal right. So what we are talking about here, we are talking about all people. So all people is your complete subject, and rest of the particle part of the sentence is your predicate. So have equal rights is your predicate, and all people is your subject. Then next, if we talk about high stone walls are built around the grounds. So high stone walls were built around the grounds. So here high stone walls, this is your subject, and rest of the sentence is your predicate. What we are talking about in this sentence, we are talking about high stone walls, and then the thing that is telling you that were built around the ground. So this is your predicate. Then if we talk about fourth one, here I is your subject. I shot an arrow in the air. So this will be your predicate. So I hope it is clear to you how you have to identify the subject and predicate of a sentence. So let us move to the next page now. Next is your subject word and its attributes. So what is the meaning of attributes, students? It means like quality or feature of something. So the word attributes here, this word attributes is written, which means quality or the feature of something. So in this you can say in these coming upcoming sentences we will discuss about the subject word and its attributes or the qualities of that subject word. So subject word, what is subject word? Subject word, sometimes sentences has more than one word, as I have already told you that in a previous page also we have seen these sentences. First, in first sentence there were four words in the subject. So the complete subject, the words that are there in subject, those are called your subject word. And so when sometimes subject has more than one word, that you can say that group of word is called your subject word. So look at these sentences as they have given you in the starting portion is she did. So the five brothers lived together in the jungle. Then walking is good for health. Then to laugh loudly is often rude. So in these three sentences, look at the starting, the shaded portion. It may contain single word also, or it may have two three words. So this is your complete subject word. So I hope the concept of subject word is clear to you. Then in a sentence, the subject word is often qualified by an objective. Most of the time, you will see that the subject words are means the main subject is qualified with the help of an adjective or the words that do the work of an adjective. So that is called your attribute. So what is your attribute? As we have already discussed, that word attribute means to say the quality or feature of something. So as we know that adjectives also add, you can say adjectives are your qualitative, quantitative or demonstrative. These are the your adjectives, different types of adjectives. So what is given here, that the subject word is often qualified by an adjective or words that do the work of an adjective. This is called its attribute. So for example, here the sentences are given and the man, for example, words are given, subjects are given, subjects of the sentences are given, sorry. So the man is given. So subject, you have to find, you can say subject word and the attribute here. So subject word here is man, we are talking about man. So the before man there is a word written, that is the. So the is a definite article, as you know. So the attribute here is a definite article, the. Then, if we talk about the second subject, that is Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. So, Mahatma Gandhi is a subject word here, and the father of nation is a, you can say, description about Mahatma Gandhi, that he was a, or even today he is a father of nation. He is considered as a father of nation. So it's a noun phrase, and it is giving description about Mahatma Gandhi, or it is describing about the quality or the feature of Mahatma Gandhi. So that is your subject attribute. Then a rolling stone. So stone here is a subject word, but now there are two more words here in this sentence, in this subject form. One is a and then is rolling. So a here is indefinite article. So you know articles, there are three articles, a and the. So a is an article here, and rolling is a participle adjective. Means it is telling you about the quality of that stone. That stone is rolling. So rolling here is your participle adjective, or it is an attribute of this subject word, stone. Then next one is his book. So book is a subject word here, and his means to say his is, this word is showing the belongingness of the book to a person. His book. So his is your possessive adjective. Possessive, as you know, possessive adjectives are those which shows the belongingness of something to someone. So his here is your possessive adjective. Then his determination to succeed, his determination to succeed. So here determination is a subject word, and his again is a possessive adjective, because we know that the words like his, her, herself, himself, themselves are these kind of words, mine, yours, these are all your possessive adjectives. And to succeed is a infinitive here. As you know, the verb used with the combination of two words is called infinitive, so it's your infinitive. So then comes he himself. So he is your subject word, and when you can say when these kind of words come like he himself, she herself, means we are giving emphasis on these words he she. So the words himself and herself are giving emphasis on the word he and she respectively. So that is why these are called your emphatic pronouns. Himself is a emphatic pronoun. What are emphatic pronouns? Those which give emphasis on the subject. So he himself means himself word is giving emphasis on he, so that is why himself here is here emphatic pronoun. Then if we talk about next one, next is here fresh butter. So butter is subject word here, and fresh means we are talking about the quality of the butter. Butter is fresh, so fresh here is an adjective. So attribute is here, attribute to this word, subject word is here fresh. So I hope you will be able to find the attributes of all the sentences you come across. So attribute is commonly, you can say, it's a feature or the quality of the subject word. That could be your adjective also, definite article, indefinite article, possessive adjective, or your emphatic pronoun, or any other word. So let us move to the next page now. Next is underline the complete subject and then separate the subject word from its attribute. So first of all, what you have to do here in these sentences, we have to underline the complete subject. Then from that we have to separate the subject word from its attribute. So let us try to do these things now. First one is the young man, anxious to impress, revised his answers several times. So the young man, anxious to impress, is your complete subject. And out of this, the subject word is your man only. Okay, so this is your complete subject. So man is your subject word, so rest of the things is your attribute. The young, anxious to impress, these are your attributes. Young means to say quality, adjective. So like this, these words are your attributes of the subject word, and only subject word here is man, and complete subject is no doubt it is here the young man anxious to impress. Then, if we talk about the second sentence, a happy child makes all around her happy. A happy child makes all around her happy. So, the complete subject here is a happy child. So, again, child is your subject word. The only means word that is your subject word is child here, and attributes is a happy. So complete subject is your a happy child, then child is your subject word, and then a word a and happy are your attributes. We have separate the subject, complete subject from subject word and its attribute. So attribute is a happy here, a is an article and happy is an adjective. So this is your second sentence. Third is growing children need a lot of nourishment. Growing children need a lot of nourishment. So here the complete subject is growing children, but out of that children is your subject word and growing is your attribute. Growing is a quality of that children, means those children. So growing is your attribute, so we have separated the subject word from the attribute. Then fourth is Mr. Narayan, the school principal, was on his rounds. So the complete subject word here is the Mr. Narayan, the school principal. But if we talk about the subject word, then it is only Mr. Narayan, because the school principal is a kind of you can say description about Mr. Narayan. Mr. Narayan, the school principal, means he is working as a school principal, so it's a description for Mr. Narayan. So Mr. Narayan is your subject word here, and the school principal is a noun phrase, it's your attribute. Then Maya's mother is an artist. Maya's mother is an artist. So again, Maya's mother is your complete subject, but mother is your subject word here. Only the word mother is your subject word here. So Maya's mother means whose mother? Maya's mother. So it's kind of your possessive, you can say. So Maya is here your attribute. Quality of that was that she's a mother of Maya, so Maya is your attribute here. Then moving to the next page. So now if we analyze the predicate, earlier we were talking about the subject only, then if we come to your predicate, so what is a predicate, students? So predicate may consist of just one word or group of word. In some sentences, like we have done in starting, Meera sings. So Meera is a subject and sings is your predicate. So it was just of one word predicate, but sometimes more oftenly the predicates are you can say group of words generally. So it's not a single word, but sometimes it may be a single word also. So for example, horses gallop. So here horses is your subject, and we say that except the subject, rest of your sentence is your predicate. So here is only one word in the predicate, that is gallop. And second is the class starts at 9. The class is your subject, complete subject, and starts at 9 means there are three words in this predicate. So starts at 9 is your predicate. So I have underlined the predicates in these sentences. In first, horses gallop is your complete sentence, out of which gallops is your predicate. And in second sentence, class starts at 9, it consists of three words. The class is your subject and the starts at 9 is your predicate. So next comes again, look at these predicates. These are shaded predicates in these sentences. So again, if we talk about predicate, the children waited downstairs. The children waited downstairs. So there is no doubt that we know that the children is the subject here. It means the rest of the sentence is your predicate. So what kind of predicate it is? Waited downstairs. So the adverbial qualification is an adverb here. Downstairs means adverb, and waited downstairs is your predicate, complete predicate. Then the children came home. Again, the children is your subject and came home. uh, a noun that behaves like an adverb of place means here came home. Home is a noun, but it is, you can say it is like adverb of place. It is playing a role of adverb of place because it is describing where the children came. So they came home. So home here is like a, you can say, adverb of place. Then if we talk about next one, we work to earn. We work to earn. So an infinitive as an adverb of purpose. For what we work, why we work? So we work to earn. To earn is your infinitive here. It's, you can say, as an adverb of purpose. So purpose of working is earning. So next is the toys is in the room. The toys in the room were in all shapes and sizes. So here a prepositional phrase doing the work of an adverb. It's your prepositional phrase in all shapes and sizes, but here it is playing a role of, you can say, an adverb, means it's telling you about the shapes and sizes of something. So of the toys. So that is why it's your, you can say, a prepositional phrase doing the work of an adverb. The toys in the room were in all shapes. So then moving to the next page, then comes the object of a verb. What is your object of a verb? When we use a verb transitively, we need an object to make the meaning of a sentence complete. Means transitive verbs needs an object to complete their meaning. So students, this we have already covered in your verbs topic also. At that time also I have explained the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. So what are transitive verbs? The verbs that require an object for a meaning, to make a sentence meaningful, and intransitive verbs which do not require any kind of object. Without object the sentence is meaningful. So if we look at these examples, I threw the ball. If I look at this example, I threw the ball. I threw, if I only say I threw. So what I threw? There is no meaning to this phrase I threw. So it's not complete. But if it means it needs object ball. So I need object ball to complete this sentence or to make a senseful sentence. So I threw the ball. If I only say I threw without object, this sentence is having no meaning. So I hope it is clear to you. Transitive verbs are those which require object for making a meaningful sentence. On the other hand, intransitive are those which do not require any object for meaningful sentences. So the object of a transitive verb may be the following. Now what could be the object of a transitive verb? We will discuss about all the object. It could be a noun, pronoun, adjective, or whatever. So we will discuss each of those one by one. First is the object could be a noun. We flew kites. If I only say we flew, what? We flew? No. So it doesn't make any sense. So we flew is not a complete sentence. So if we write we flew kites, it's a meaningful sentence. And here, if you look at the object kites is a noun. So we flew kites is your complete sentence, and kites is a object here and it's a noun. Then second is a pronoun. It could be a pronoun also. So a thief stole it. A thief stole it. Here it is your pronoun and it is your object. So object could be a pronoun also. Then an adjective that does the work of a noun. Sometimes there are adjectives that act like a noun. So those are also sometimes the objects of your transitive verbs. So then ordinary people and with the rich. Ordinary people and with rich, the rich here is acting like a noun. It's an adjective. Rich is a adjective actually, but it is here acting like a noun. So like ordinary people and with rich. So your adjectives sometimes they act as a noun, they can also play the role of object in your transitive verb sentences. Then a participle that acts as a noun. A gerund means ing form. So everybody enjoys singing. Everybody enjoys, what enjoys? Singing. So singing here is a gerund which is acting like a transitive verb object. Then an infinitive that does the work of a noun. Again an infinitive that does the work of a noun. For example, the cornered tiger tried to attack. Which tiger? The cornered tiger tried to do what? To attack. So here again to attack infinitive is acting the object of the transitive verb. Then a group of words doing the work of noun means any kind of group of word which is acting or playing the noun, role of noun. So that is also called Hina loves to bake chocolate cakes. Hina loves to bake chocolate cakes. So here chocolate cakes, the word loves to bake chocolate cake is your object of the transitive verb. Then a noun clause. Do you remember what Ansari told us about this building? So this is again your noun clause. Like, do you remember what Ansari told us about this building? So like this, the object of a transitive verb may be a noun or a pronoun or adjective working like noun or participle acting like noun or a gerund or a group of words working like noun or a noun clause. So anything can be your object of transitive verb. So I hope it is clear to you. Let us move to the next one. Next is underline the verbs and their objects. So firstly you have to underline verbs also and their objects also. Identify the direct and indirect objects if the verbs have two objects. So direct means to say which answers your what, and then look at these sentences, it will become too clear to you. So what are your direct and indirect, we will talk about that also. So firstly the sentence here is Tara promised her friends a treat. So here your verb is promised, then her friend and a tree. Means underline the verbs and their objects we have to underline, and identify the direct and indirect objects if the verbs have two objects. So in some of the sentences, in most you have two objects like direct object and indirect object. So if we talk about now direct object of this sentence, so what she offered, what she promised her friend, the question which answers your what, that the word that answers your what question, that is your direct object. To whom? If we ask to whom she promised, you can say about treat. So that will be your indirect object, like friends. Whom question is being answered by the word friends. So it is your indirect object, and treat is the you can say word that is answering your what question. So it will be your direct object. So I hope the difference of direct and indirect object is clear to you. I repeat, students, look at this sentence carefully. I repeat, Tara promised her friends a treat. What she promised, if I ask you what she promised, then your answer will be she promised a treat. So a treat is your direct object. And if I ask you whom she promised to her friends, so it's your indirect object. So I hope the concept of direct and indirect you can say objects is clear to you. So here first of all we have to underline the verb here is promised, and direct object here is treat, and indirect object is friends. So this is all about your this one. Then Mrs. Upadhyay teaches us Hindi. Then next is Mrs. Upadhyay teaches us Hindi. So teaches no doubt teaches is your verb here. So what she teaches you? Teaches us Hindi. Hindi means Hindi is your direct object. What she teaches you? To whom she teaches? Us. So us will be your indirect object and Hindi is your direct object. I repeat, Hindi is your direct object because it is answering the question what she teaches you. Hindi. And to whom she teaches? Us. So these are your direct and indirect objects. Then did you give Neeti her check? Did you give Neeti her check? So again give is your verb. There is no doubt that give is a verb here. So now what is your direct object? What we are talking about? We are talking about check, and to whom it is to be given? To Neeti. So check is your direct and Neeti is your indirect object. So then if we talk about fourth one now, Grace bought Kriti a new guitar. Grace bought Preeti a new guitar. So verb here is bought. And if we talk about direct and indirect object, new guitar is your direct object. What he bought? A new guitar. And for whom? For Kriti. So Kriti is your indirect object. Next is fifth one is father gave mother a lovely sari. Father gave mother a lovely sari. So again, gave is your verb. There is no doubt that gave is a verb here. And what father gave? Father gave a lovely sari. So it's your direct object. And to whom? To mother. So mother will be your indirect object. Then sixth one is please pass me the salt. Please pass me the salt. So pass here is your verb and me the salt. What I am asking for to pass is salt. Salt is direct object and to whom salt is to be passed? To me. So me is your indirect object. So I hope the concept of direct and indirect object is clear to you. Direct object answers your what question and indirect object will answer your whom question. So then next is your the complement. So then topic is your complement. So what is your complement? Let us see. For example, let me change the color of the pen. So yes, Geeta walks. So if we talk about this sentence, Geeta walks. Walks. What is walk now? Walk is intransitive verb. Means the sentence is complete. Geeta walks. This sentence does not require any kind of object. The verb walk does not require any kind of object to make a senseful sentence. It means walk is your intransitive verb because it's this sentence is complete in itself. Geeta walks is a complete sentence in itself and it's a meaningful sentence, so it means walk is an intransitive verb. So similarly, if we talk about Kartika appears happy, if we say Kartika appears, it will not be correct, means it doesn't make any sense if I say Kartika appears. So the verb appears is an intransitive verb of incomplete predication. What does it mean? That will be answered by your the word complement. So the verb, which verb appears, it is an intransitive verb. Appears happy. Happy is not a object as you can see, but it is a, you can say it's a kind of state or something like that. So if we add this word happy, then this sentence is complete. Kartika appears happy. But if we remove this word happy, then this will not be a, you can say the predication or the predicate of the sentence seems incomplete. So this is what your complement is, means this complement will give you complete predication or something like that. So let us see what is your complement. Sometimes the verb in the predicate is an intransitive verb, but it is complete by itself. It requires a noun, a pronoun, an adjective, etc. to complete the predicate. Means sometimes to complete the predicate we require a noun, a pronoun, or an adjective. So the word or the group of words required to complete the predicate is called your complement because it describes the subject. So it is called your sometimes when it's means whatever the predicate we are taking. For example, even if we are talking about this sentence, Kartika appears happy. So this word happy, here it is completing your sentence. But uh, to whom it is means what we are saying that it describes the subject. Means this happy is describing about the subject. Who is happy? Kartika is happy. So what is complement? A word or a group of word. Like happy, it can be a single word also, or it can be a it could be a group of words required to complete the predicate is called a complement. First of all, and because it describes the subject, so it is called your subject complement. Means the complete name that we will give to complement is your subject complement. And what is complement? It could be a noun, pronoun, adjective, etc. So it is a word, single word. It can be a single word or group of words required to complete the predicate is called a complement because it describes subject, so it called subject complement. Then the subject complement may be the following. Now the subject complements are given. So as I have already told you, it could be a noun, pronoun, or adjective, or so on. So let us see what could be your subject complements. First one is a noun. For example, Mercury is a planet. So if we talk about this sentence, Mercury is a planet. Planet is a noun word here, and it is, you can say, it is completing the predicate of the sentence. So planet means to say we are giving, you can say we are talking about the subject Mercury. What is Mercury? Mercury is a planet. So planet here is a noun and it is your subject complement. Then an adjective. If we talk about the second one, an adjective, let me change the color of the pen. So yes, an adjective, the children were hungry. Children were hungry. So again, hungry is an adjective here and it is your subject complement. It is describing about the subject children. What are means at that time children were hungry. Then a pronoun, it could be a pronoun also. This is him. Or a participle, mother seemed agitated. Or an infinitive, the child appeared to shudder. And then an adverb, the smoke is everywhere. Everywhere is an adverb here. So a group of words doing the work of an adjective can also act like subject complement. Like the second hand car was in an excellent condition. So here these words, like group of words, in an excellent condition, these words are working like an adjective here. So these are your subject complement. So as I have already told you that subject complement could be a single word also, or it can be a group of words. So here it is a group of word. Then a clause, simply a clause can be your subject complement. For example, home is where the heart is. So this complete is where the heart is. So it's your subject complement. Home is where the heart is. Then there is an exercise for you people. Now underline the complement in each sentences below and say what kind it is. So what you have to do here, you will simply underline the complement and you have to describe the kind of that complement. For example, in first sentence, this new book is very well written. So very well written is your subject complement here and it's your adjective complement. Very well written. We are describing about the quality of that book. So it's your adjective complement. Then the people outside the doctor's room grew restless. The people outside the doctor's room grew restless. So here this word restless is your subject complement and restless is your, it belongs to your adjective. Restless means to say adjective, so it's your adjective complement. Again, Charu is a singer. So what here, singer, Charu is a singer. Singer is your subject complement and singer is a noun, so it's a noun complement. Then fourth one is the soldiers were exhausted. The soldiers were exhausted. So exhausted here is your subject complement and it's your uh, participle complement. Okay. Then fifth one is everyone looked happy. Again, happy is your subject complement and it's an adjective. Happy is an adjective. Then sixth is the old man was in a smart suit. The old man was in a smart suit. So in a smart suit, this complete is your subject complement or complement, or it's your kind of, this is adjective complement. So I hope it's clear to you. Then next is the plant appears quite healthy. So the plant appears quite healthy. Quite healthy is your complement and it's your adjective complement. Then the trip is exciting. So again, exciting here is your complement and it's a adjective complement. So I hope it's clear to you the whole topic sentence analysis. If you something is not that much clear, if there is any doubt, you can watch this video again. So thanks for listening patiently and have a nice day.